Hey guys, so today I'm going to be telling you about Ian's bedtime routine, some problems that we've run into and how we've solved them. Some of them are not like the best solutions, but it's just what we're doing right now. I thought I would share those with you. And then at the end of all of that, I am going to ask you guys a few questions about some things that I think that we could use some good tips on. So on an ideal night, Ian's bedtime routine would go as follows. He would use the potty, take a bath. After he's done with his bath, he would get his pajamas, his diaper, lotioned up. If his nails needed trimming, they would get trimmed, his hair would get brushed, and his ears would get cleaned. After all of that baby grooming, we would get his teeth brushed, and then we get him his pacifier, his two little stuffed animals that he sleeps with, which is this kind of like a lion lovey. It's like a blanket with a little lion head attached to it. And he's also got a monkey. And then Neil kind of has this little bedtime routine he does with Ian. So they give kisses and they do pound-its and headbutts. And then after they do that, then I take Ian in his room and we say prayers, and then I put him down to bed. And this would all occur by 8 o'clock, ideally. However, that rarely happens just like that. As far as bath, he does that every other night. Sometimes I forget to have him go potty before he gets in the bathtub and he pees in the bath, and then I have to drain all of the water and we have to start all over again. Sometimes we eat dinner super late, and so all of this doesn't take place until 9:30 at night. Other nights, Ian is not in the mood to do this whole kissing, pound it, headbutt extravaganza, and so him and Neil kind of sit it out for a while until he'll actually do it. But yeah, bedtime routine is never exactly the same every night, and we have like kind of a plan and we follow it as best we can. Some problems we've run into, I already expressed the peeing in the bath one, which is why now we've implemented the go pee in the potty before he gets in the bath. Ian has been practicing potty training for a little while now, and he loves going potty. He loves going to the bathroom. So he's very excited to go potty before he gets in his bath, which has helped with having to drain the bathtub and then refill it, because that child, if you forget to tell him to go pee before he gets in the bath, he is going to pee in the bath. Another thing that we had problem with for a while was teeth. For a long while there, Ian would not let me brush his teeth without a fight. And I'm talking screaming and kicking and smacking. Him attacking me, not me attacking him. And I'd have to hold him down and kind of pull his lips apart and brush his teeth, and it was just a big to-do. Well, one night I had had a day, and I didn't feel like going through all of that. So I told Neil that he was going to brush Ian's teeth, and at first he was a little apprehensive about it because I was the one that normally brushed Ian's teeth, and he had seen the scene that happens every single night with that. But he went ahead and he was like, all right, Ian, let's go. He took him back to the bathroom, and there was silence. And then a few minutes later, Ian comes, running down the hall all happy-like. And I'm like, you have to brush his teeth, love. And he's like, I did brush his teeth. And I didn't believe him because I didn't hear one little squawk or squeal back there. I was like, he so did not brush his teeth. He's just saying he did because he doesn't want to do it. So the next night, I watched, and sure enough, Ian stood there very happily, and Neil was like, open your mouth, say ah, and Ian let him brush his teeth very peacefully, and I was like, what the heck? So after that, I said that was Neil's job. Until recently. He just started, not wanting to brush his teeth again. But a solution that I have found to that, and this isn't the best solution ever, but it's just what works for us, is that Ian really likes the movie Cars. He's kind of obsessed with it, and if you put it on, he will zone out. Well, when it's time to brush his teeth, I put on Cars, and kid zones, and he doesn't care what I do. So, he's just focused on the TV, so he's very zombie-like when he's watching Cars, so I can say ah, and he's just like, and I can go ahead and brush his teeth in peace. And then when I'm done brushing his teeth, I turn cars off, and he's not really like upset if I turn it off or anything. And then he does, spit and all that kind of stuff, and we clean up his mouth, and then that's how he brushes teeth. As far as sleep goes, Ian has always been a pretty good sleeper. He likes going to bed for the most part, and he likes going down for naps for the most part. I mean, he does have his days and nights where he doesn't want to do it, but I would say the majority of the time he's very good about going to bed. There was a little while there, and it was after he was done breastfeeding, that he did go down for the night. But then all of a sudden he stopped doing that, and he was waking up like 3 or 4 times a night, and it was getting exhausting. And there was nothing wrong with him. At first we thought maybe it was his teeth, that he was teething, but he wasn't in pain, he wasn't hungry, or he wasn't thirsty, and he didn't have a wet diaper or anything, because as soon as we would go in there, we would give him an extra hug or a kiss, and we'd just tell him to lay back down. He would lay back down and go right back to sleep. So there was really no reason for him to be waking up, and waking up so many times. So first we tried using a white noise machine, and that did work for a little while, but it has a timer on it, and it would only go for like 30 to 45 minutes, and then it would stop, and when it would stop, he would wake up. So then we went and got him an iPod dock, and Neil gave him his iPod, and we started playing Mozart classical music. It's like nighttime type music, though. It's very soothing and soft, and we would play that, and we have it on a continuous loop, and so it goes from the time we put him down until he wakes up in the morning. And ever since we started doing that, he doesn't wake up at night. He sleeps through the whole night ever since we've put on the music, and it's very, very soft playing in there. It's not loud. It's very quiet, but it is a very slight background noise, and I guess he likes that because it does help him sleep through the night. However, we are going to stop letting him sleep the entire night through with the music, because he seems to be over that stage of needing background noise. So we are going to have the music on when we first put him down, just so he can start to get sleepy and he's used to having the music playing. But when I go in at midnight, I have started to turn the music off so he can continue to sleep. Just because I think maybe Neil told me, or maybe we read somewhere, I don't know what it was, but that people don't sleep as well when they have like a TV or radio on or something, that you actually sleep better without like background noise. So we are still going to let him use it to fall asleep, but we are starting to turn it off before we go to bed, so that he can get better sleep and maybe start weaning him off of needing that background noise to go to sleep. And the last thing I would say, that is something that has really helped us with Ian's bedtime routine and sleeping and stuff, is his video monitor. We love having the video monitor. It helps us to, determine whether some weird sound he's making in there, is it something we need to rush in there for? Is it something that he needs help with? Or is he just, babbling to himself, and he's just laying there babbling to one of his stuffed animals, and we don't need to go in there. So, and disrupt, what he's doing to fall asleep. So the video monitor has just come in handy a lot, and we love being able to check on him at any time. And so if he's in his room at any point sleeping or falling asleep, we always have the video monitor on, and so we can hear every little thing in there, and we can see every little thing in there. So that has helped us a lot. As far as some tips that I wanted to ask you guys about, Ian's eating is just bad. It is just bad. He does not sit down ever to eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner. All he wants to eat all day long is snacks. He just snacks all day long. So, sometimes he's snacking on healthy things like, bananas or strawberries. Sometimes he wants oatmeal, raisins, things like that. So sometimes he is snacking on healthy things, but then other times he's not snacking on healthy things. He's snacking on little toddler fruit snacks, which aren't terrible, but, I don't think they're the best thing to be snacking on all day. Tried to, cut out so many snacks and kind of give him just food, but he doesn't eat it. He'll just sit there and he'll just play in it, and he won't eat it, and then he fusses because he wants to get down. And tonight we tried, making him sit there for a while again. He fussed, and eventually we let him down, and we tried not to give him anything else to eat. Our plan was to just stick with, that's what's for dinner. We made steak, potato soup, and cucumbers. Well, he had cucumbers. We didn't have any cucumbers, but he had cucumbers chopped up with some ranch dip. And he didn't eat any of it. Not one single solitary bite of his dinner. And he was hungry, and he kept, once we let him down, he kept going in the kitchen, and he brought us marshmallows, and he brought us all kinds of things, but he would not eat any of his dinner. Clearly he's hungry. Clearly he knows that in the past, I've kind of catered to that, but I really want to stop doing that. I don't want him to starve, so if any of you had this problem, what did you do? And if you did the whole, well, you're not getting anything else. I mean, how long did you do that? How long did you let them, not eat anything if they're not going to eat what you're giving them? How long did your kid go before they just kind of gave up and ate what you gave them? Because that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried that he's just not going to eat. And he's already teeny tiny as he is, so I really never wanted to do that. But he's just not eating, the meals that we make for him. And I don't want him snacking on stuff all day and not eating his actual food. So, those of you who cloth diaper, okay, this doesn't have anything to do with bedtime routines or tips on, kid stuff, but the inserts, how do you get them to be soft? I know, when I put them in the dryer, they're somewhat softer, but they never feel like when you first get them and they're all, super fluffy. I keep hearing these things about, wool balls to put in the dryer, but I really don't know what that's all about. Is that just to help them dry faster, or does that actually help them refluff and get softer? If it's a thing that's going to help them get softer, I might look into it. I don't really care how long they take to dry. But yeah, my inserts just aren't as soft and fluffy as they once were, and I would really like them to be soft and fluffy again. And last but not least, I want to give a little shout out to Mary Ellen. You know who you are. You found me on Facebook today, so if you still, I know you don't make YouTube videos anymore, but if you still watch them and you're watching this one, hi! Okay, I will see you all tomorrow for VEDA Day 18, and goodbye!